that's a psychologist and I'm a sociologist, and those don't go together. But the article's good, it fits the journal, but the editor won't make a decision. It's the third year we've worked on the article.
I think this problem caused by working already to a project with another discipline, so
it could be, but the other problem that you have is with the one I have with Ann Hartzing. She knows my work. I know her work. I think this guy knows who it is, and he just assumed I didn't get the article published in this journal. I have a guy that's on my editorial review board who's been on it for 13 years. He's never accepted an article in 13 years. Not one. And I said, David, what's the deal here? He said, well, if I accept an article, that means there's that many less pages for me to publish in that journal. That's the people you're playing with. Now, the question is, why do I keep David on the review board? And I do, and I won't take him off. He does beautiful reviews. He'll send it back to you and look at that, and my God, he's picked up every error in that paper. Now, I can say to them, I want you to revise and resubmit around David's suggestions, and then I make the decision to accept it, not David. Okay, so I send stuff to David just because I know he will rip. John Slocum's the worst I've ever seen. I mean, you could send him the Bible, and he would do the parade. It doesn't make sense, it doesn't flow well, you're changing tenses, you're changing the level of analysis, but he's right. And as soon as John does that, I go back and I make those changes that he's made, and it's a better paper. But the thing you've got to do, what are you doing while you're waiting?
another project.
Another project. There's critical issues here. The first thing is time. And I do a lot of research on managing time. Not from an efficiency standpoint, but how do I make time my ally strategically rather than against me? And what you've got to learn is there's three critical times in the year for you. Christmas, spring, and summer. Why?
No one's working.
No one's here. And what you do is you think, well, I'll relax. And you can't. When our Christmas vacation starts, I have projects literally that are sitting on my desk ready to go. And in that 6 weeks, I will produce 6 or 7 articles because they're all sitting there ready to go. I don't say, okay, it's Christmas, but what am I going to do? And oh, by the way, I'll be at school Christmas Day. Why? My family wants me to be at school on Christmas Day. Get out of the house. You're home, you want us to change this, do that, move this. Everything's going to start at noon, so come home at noon. So I go to work at 5 o'clock, that's 7 hours worth of work, just like that. Everybody else is sitting around having an eggnog, talking. You know, I get all that in from 7 o'clock until I go to bed. I mean, from 12 o'clock until I go to bed, which is about 7 o'clock. But the waiting is the period when you've got to get things done. You can't just sit there and expect. Okay, here's my project management matrix. What this says is you have multiple projects going on, identification of the problem, the reading, the creativity, the literature review, the gap analysis is what's contradictory in the information, and then the general topic outline. What I do is I check which every one of these, and there's another page to this, I check where these things are, and then I put down below it how long they've been in that category. Because some projects, the death of an entrepreneur, is stalled. It's literally been in some of those boxes for 2 or 3 years. Okay, I can't have them all in one area. I can't move all of these along at the same time. Okay? What I want is, I want a pipeline full of stuff that I let it, some of it's maturing. Like I said, I've got some projects in the back of my head that are maturing right now. One's called mindfulness. What's mindfulness? How do I get people to focus enough to get things done that are creative? Creative people have a tendency to bounce around. Can you force them to remain creative but get things done? Can you focus creativity? Development of the tables and exhibits for me is a big deal. First draft, friendly review, and then the editorial review, what goes on. So I look at every one of the projects and I say, what stage are they in? How many of these projects do I have in this stage? How many of the projects do I have in this stage? And what I'm trying to do is keep an even flow of stuff, like I said. For every article that's published, that gets accepted, I have 200 reviewed. Okay, I have 200 development, because I've got to fill in, because if you don't have more in the process, your productivity will go like this. There'll be 21 year, 2 the next year, 20 the next year, and you're not showing any continuity across your discipline. So anyway, These two things help me to literally monitor. I put it on my computer and I can shoot, if you, just like this stuff. I can pick up the thing and say, here's where every one of the projects, I have 42 projects going on right now and I can tell you which stage all of them are in. When they get over to this part to where I'm ready, right in this area right here, that means those are the ones lined up for me to start working on during spring break or summer or whatever it may be. I come over to Bond from the 1st of May until the middle of August. My goal is to write 10 articles during that time period. Now, I can't fly over and sit down and say, gee, what am I going to be working on? They were all set up before I left home. The files are all in place. The outlines are all in place. And people don't understand, well, how can you get all that done? The answer is because I've done a lot of work before I sit down and start working on it. All the diagrams are drawn. The outline's there. The topic sentences are there. I just got to sit down and do it. And my goal is to do 10 of them. I've got 6 done already.
But well, I mean, this way maybe each project will take a longer time. So in this case, you may miss something by other people will publish what you are currently doing and you haven't finished it yet.
They could, but again, somebody that's going to do something creatively the same way I do it, probably not. And again, any topic you pick, there's people writing on it. But you can come up with something that's unique. You can come up with something that's different. If you just look at what they're doing, I can add this to it. I can look at this. I never worry about, again, some people say, well, will you show us what you're doing? I say, here, I don't care, take it. Here are my topics. Here's the next, here's HRM topics. This is a great topic here. High-risk HRM issues. You know, what should the human resource people do during a terrorist attack? What should the human resource people do during a major physical calamity? There's a tornado that kills people in your company. Those are great topics. Hardly no one writes about it. Ian Mitroff's the only person I know that writes about it. He's older than I am. Great topic. Do I care? Here they are. Take them. I don't care. There's no way you're going to write what I'm going to write. We can write on the same topic. I give my wife and I on making jewelry. We use the exact same things. You look at it and say, my God, they're totally different. The creative process is different. If we both look at data, yeah, we might come up with something that's pretty close. But I don't have that problem. The creativity is the way I think about it, and I will think about it totally different than you do. I don't worry about that. And like I said, take all these things and write whatever you want. I don't care.
I'm asking this question because I'm doing research methodology at the moment, and we should be aware actually. This is what we taught by our lecturer.
Yeah.
We have to be worry about maybe other people will publish your work before you finish it.
Well, I wouldn't worry about that. That's not something I personally would worry about. I would say I'd be more interested in what's your unique contribution? What's different about what you're going to do? What's the hook? Why should I be interested in what you're doing? I gave you a hook tonight and you all went, oh shit, that makes sense. The ADHD thing makes sense. And you all kind of went, that's a good idea. Okay? That's unique, it's unusual, it's different. And even if you wrote on that, it's not going to be what I write. Because I'll have a totally different approach to it.
It may be discipline play, I mean.
Sure.
Because you know, the disciplines are different, so
I'm more mature.
It's different than other disciplines.
I'm more mature in the research process than you are. You're going to be doing very detailed, and you're going to be doing, and it's going to be very controlled. And I'm just doing this. and this is one of the reasons PhD students shouldn't spend much time with me. A friend of mine refers to me as Gossamer. Do you remember who Gossamer was? The Greek god that flew. And what he had was he had wings that were made out of wax, but he could fly. And he flew too close to the sun because he was testing out his wings, and the wings melted and he died. I'm Gossamer. I'm flying around out there and you go, hey, this is fun, let's fly along with him. And you're going to get burned up if you try to do what I do. And it's true. I can only hopefully stimulate you to think about this stuff, but don't try to do it. Don't try to duplicate what I'm doing. What I'm saying to you here is, should you have a process where you keep track of where these things are? The answer is yes. Is this the process? No. Make your own note. This one works for me. Opportunities for creativity is an important thing to me. The unexpected. Something comes up and it just happens. You go, I've never seen that before. I've never heard of that before. Okay?